Hey guys, this is Pharaoh2091 and welcome back to Let's Play 999. Last time left off, we were searching around for Snake and we simply couldn't find him. And then we got into a long discussion about there must be a sacrifice to continue on. And it's like there has to be some other way, we couldn't figure it out. Ace then willingly said, just leave me behind and you can come back and rescue me somehow. And June wouldn't have any of it. She went to go grab him, and then this happened. He fell forward. Let's continue on. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold. Ace! June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up. What happened, Ace? Say something! She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open. Oh, he's not dead. I'm alright. His voice was weak and slightly slurred. How are you fine? He held out his left hand and slowly opened his hand. It was a syringe in a small vial. Okay, medicine? The vial was empty. That's not good. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Soperol Beta. What? Okay. What is that? Junpei had no idea what it meant or what kind of medicine it might be. Did you use this? Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine. Anesthetic? I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms, I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself. Why did you do this? Didn't I tell you? I like to take a nap. I really am very tired. Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. He had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, then there was no way they could. There was nothing they could do. He injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind. Ace! Is there something you want to say? I'd just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down? No! Don't, Ace! Please don't fall asleep! You feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream. Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying. Ace! Ace! Yeah. She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only a gentle rising and falling his chest told him that he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing. And I guess that's good too. I mean, damn this game. Woof. He lifted Ace up the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity. Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. Right? She wasn't feeling any remorse. Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. And suddenly Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we? Huh? What do you mean? Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door. Ah, yes, that's true. Well, enough of the screwing around. Let's decide now. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want? I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number. Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want? I'll take 7. Can't get along with that old lady. What? What did you just say? Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Ugh! You're gonna get it next time! She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off. Alright, who's next? Santa's gaze moves across the 3 people left. Finally, to stop to Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? At last. Junpei's mind was already made up. It was? Let's think here. Because I'm assuming picking these doors obviously has some form of, not to say it has, like, some form of, that was what I was trying to say. Maybe it has a consequence, or maybe it does have, like, a game changer, but I really don't know. 3, 7, or 8. I really don't know. I guess I better. I got okay. 5 more seconds to the side. 3, 7, 8. You know what? We'll go with the default, which is 3. Why the hell not? I want to go through door number 3. No, you can't. Huh? Why? Because it's impossible. We split ourselves into 3 and 3. Then we give up going We split ourselves into 3 and 3. Then we give up on going through door number 3. Why? Replace the numbers. There's 6 of us. 3, 5, 3, 5, 4. 3 through 8. There are 2 combinations that can go through 3, and those 3 are 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, and that's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door. I see. That means 1 team will get left behind. That's right. That doesn't happen if we go through door 7 or 8. No, they're fine. We've got 3 options. And Santa began to explain. Plan A. Go through door 7 with 3, 5, 8, and go through door 8 with 4, 6, 7. Plan B was to go through door 7, 4, 5, 7, and go through 8 with 3, 6, 8. Plan C was to go through door 7, 3, 6, 7, and go through door 8 with 4, 5, 8. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least if you want to get all 6 of us out of here. That was when Junpei realized. Plan A divides into 2 teams. Plan B divides into 2 teams. See, okay. There was one thing they all had in common. In every single combination, 5 and 6 were never on the same team. In other words, if all 6 people were to move forward, Jun and Junpei would be separated. Jun and Junpei would had been friends when they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else on the ship. If he chose 7 or 8, then he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do? Anyway, that's the deal, so think it over. You've got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can't choose 3. If you choose 3, you're going to be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you going to do? 7 or 8? Time to choose. Junpei thought hard. After thinking it over, his conclusion was... shoot. I never really thought this game would be making me do choices like this. Here's the thing. It says, like, oh, can we bother leaving, be separated from June, right? The issue is, yeah, we already were separated from her. But the way this game's making it sound is like, take the risk and choose door 3. I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns here. And I usually never do this, but... fine. I kind of just want to see what's going to happen here. I'm taking a risk. Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3. What? That's nuts! You gotta be crazy! Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door? I'm just... Junpei paused. He swallowed the words he'd been about to say. I'm just curious about door number 3. That's all. That doesn't explain shit! I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain to you if you'll just come with me. With that, he began walking toward the door. Their curiosity likely getting better of them, the others followed. A few of them looked a little suspicious, but Junpei told himself that wouldn't matter. He kept walking and kept silent. Eventually, they arrived at the door 3. Junpei stopped. I'm curious about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me? Huh? Why? Please, just do it. He stared at Junpei for a moment, then grunted as he laid his palm heavily on the scanner. Happy? Yeah, thanks. The number 7 had been entered into the red. Next is June. Please touch a red just like 7 did. Jumpy, what are you trying to figure out? Junpei had thought about his answer for a moment. I think I might find another way out. Huh? What? Really? That got him excited, just as Junpei had intended. Now please, June. Okay. Uh-huh. With those two numbers in red, Junpei had what he wanted. He casually placed his own hand in the scanner, and the third asterisk blinked. That will equal 9 so far. Alright. The only people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus. So, what's your point? You don't get it? Think about it. What's the sum of your number and Clover's? 1 and 2. And 12, and that's 3. Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the point? What's the number that's currently in the red? 7, 6, 5, 18 will equal 9, right? Yeah. And what will the digital root be if you add 3 to that? 3. The door's number. There you go. Hey, wait a minute! What the hell are you up to? I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa, or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice. So I'm waiting. Junpei laid his hand almost casually on the lever. You son of a bitch! You tricked us! And all the stuff you were going on about was all bullshit! Bullshit? I don't think so. Didn't I tell you I figured out another way to get out of here? This is it. Why the hell would you do something like this? Junpei glanced at June. Jumpy, you did it so you can just go through the same door as June? That's it? Santa was furious. His face was red and flecks of spit flew from his lips as he spoke. Junpei closed his eyes calmly and then opened them again. So, who's it gonna be? Santa or Lotus and Clover? Shit! We're going! Clover! Lotus leapt forward. She grabbed Clover by the sleeve and ran for Junpei in the door. Caught by surprise, Santa froze for a moment and then shot forward like a bullet from a gun. Lotus had a head start, but Santa had the advantage in size and speed. Almost immediately, he passed Lotus and Clover. No! Wait! Santa did not hesitate. He was getting angry. He slammed his hand down to red. This is insane! This isn't right! He glared at Junpei, his chest heaving. Yes, well, you may be right. Junpei's voice was cold, but not without effort. He turned to red and pulled the lever. Did I really just... The sound of metal on metal, the door opened. It would only remain so for 9 seconds. There was no time to think. Go! Junpei and his 3 reluctant companions jumped through the door into the door's gaping mouth, one after another. No sooner did they enter than an all too familiar noise sounded from their left wrists. The detonators activated. Junpei looked back only once, saw Lotus and Clover on the other side of the closing door. They stood still, stopped where they had been when Santa reached the red. The defeat and desperation of their faces tore at Junpei's heart. Then the door closed, and they were gone. Oh, I kind of feel bad now. You son of a bitch, Junpei! This isn't fair! Santa rounded on Junpei, lighting, crackling his eyes and his knuckles white. Do you realize what you just did? You left them out there, they can't... Shut it! That's enough! It hadn't been Junpei that spoke, but 7. We gotta find a dead or none of this is gonna matter! The clock was ticking. Dead was their only chance of survival here. Unless they could find it and deactivate their detonators, the 4 of them would be... We got less than a minute left! No time for screwing around! Get moving! They scattered and began to scour the room. The deactivation device was nowhere to be found. Corridors stretched out in 3 directions, but everyone was blocked off by a wall of metal. There was only one way out. One other door. There! Seven ran for the door, a rusty iron thing. His large hands grabbed a hold of the handle and pulled. The room inside was pitch black. They could see nothing beyond a small patch of light that spilled through the doorway. Junpei stuck his head through the door and looked around the room. Almost immediately, he spotted a blinking red light in the right wall. I found it! The dead's right over here! He stepped into the room and nearly fell down. The floor was slippery. What? He stopped and glanced down at his feet. What was... Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get over there! Junpei felt Seven's heavy hand against his back and he saw him across the room. The three piled behind him. They all felt immediately that something was wrong. Nothing that could be easily identified, only a sense that something terrible shared the room with them. But there was no time to say so. Quick! Get to the dead! The yellow started running. In the dark, it was hard to tell where the wall was. All they could see was a tiny red light, blinking at them over and over. Wait a minute. 8. No, okay, never mind. Just thinking about digital roof for a minute, never mind. And finally, suddenly, they were there. In quick succession, they all slammed their hands against the scanner panel. God, I feel terrible what the hell I just did. I really thought Junpei figured another way out, but... You know, I'm not to say I'm happy that Lotus is left behind, but she kept bringing up the aspect of, you know, sacrifice and whatnot, so it's like, what happens if you have to get sacrificed? And, you know, by Clover, I didn't think about Clover. That's gonna be hard, whatever. They're all panting. Santa 7 leaned against the wall, gulping air. As his breathing began to return normal, he glanced at the left wrist and grunted. Hey! It stopped. Stopped. Junpei could hear him laughing in the dark, but can barely make out the large man's face. What the... The sound of retching came from Santa's direction. What the hell is that smell? That is vile! I'm gonna puke! So desperate had they been in the race of the dead that no one had noticed the horrible smell that pervaded the room. It was a terrible, nauseating stench like burnt and rotten meat. Adrenaline had drowned it out, but now it rolled over Junpei in waves, forcing itself into his nose with every breath he took. He felt his stomach clench and bile rise up into his throat. Let's get the lights on first. There's a switch over there. Here. The light that spilled in from the door barely illuminated a small switch plate next to the door. Slowly, with the toll of the last few minutes apparent in a gat, whatever, Seven walked toward it. Oh God, what's in the room? He stopped as he got close and extended his fingers toward the switch. Oh God. I don't even want to know what the hell it... LR? I don't even know what the hell that means. There was a soft click, the lights came on. It scarcely faded when another noise pierced the air. A scream. Ah! Blood! Junpei's breath stopped in his throat. His heart ceased to beat. Time froze. His mind scrambled to make sense of what he saw before him. While his lifted body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. What the hell is wrong with this game and describing pretty vividly this nastiness? A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out like it was fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Gobs of yellowish fat had left trails into tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried into it. Looks like an explosion. Seven's voice was low and strained, just like the Ninth Man. The detonator in his breast was set off the bottom of his gut. It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing a painfully white bone of his ulna, whatever. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to shatter the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. You know what? Oh my god. The thing is that the music here, too, is kind of making me very uneasy as they're going to this. His clothes, too, are covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket, the yellow piping, and the gray slacks. Oh my god. They were all familiar to Junpei. Is that Snake? Santa's voice wavered as he spoke, his mouth dry. Oh my god. Finally, Junpei spoke. Why did this happen? No! Suddenly, June was screaming, her voice broken. It was an eerie scream full of insanity and not entirely human. No! No! No, no, no! Oh god! She shook her head violently and grabbed fistfuls of her own hair. Junpei could hear the sound of her hair tearing. Oh god. No! Stop it, June! He grabbed for her wrist, but as he did, June leapt up and ran toward the exit. Please, get me out of here! You have to let me out of here! She screamed at the door, and her fist slammed against it with a hollow sound. Junpei could see drops of blood on her knuckles. Why are you doing these horrible things to us? What did we do to deserve this? She screamed again, a desperate, mindless cry. Her fist flailed against the door. What the hell does LR stand for? Get me out of here, please! Please, just let me get out! Junpei couldn't watch anymore. He ran to June and wrapped his arm around her, pulling the screaming girl away from the door. No! Get off of me! Let me go! Let me go! She scrambled for a moment, her legs skittering across the floor, but her resistance didn't last long. As suddenly as her outburst had begun, it was over. The manic energy disappeared, and her body went limp into Junpei's arms. June collapsed toward the door, and Junpei knelt down with her. The hell? Oh, my dog's playing with a bottle. He felt drops of something warm and wet. Was she crying? A moment later, she began to sob. Her shoulders shook, and great hot tears rolled from her face like rain. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be alright, June. It's gonna be okay, Connie. Her name was a whisper. I'll be here with you, okay? She nodded once. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy. Her trembling voice pulled at Junpei's heart. He stroked her hair gently. His face was so close to her. The scent of her hair was nostalgic. Do you feel better? Yeah, but I'd like to stay here. For a little while at least. Jumpy's body is so warm. Several minutes passed before June's tears had dried. This video's going on for quite a while. I'm trying to find the stopping point in terms of, like, escape the room. Junpei stood up. He bent down, put his arms around June's and helped her to her feet. They didn't speak. Neither did Seven or Santa. The person was dead. They had died in that room, in a terrible way. Junpei knew there was no way he could make himself forget that. There was no way any of them could forget it, but mourning would do no good. They spread out to search the room, but each felt as if their heart was made of lead. And I guess we gotta find a way out. And just holy crap. I felt bad enough. Maybe it was good that Lotus and Clover didn't come with, because if they did, they would have noticed that, and Clover probably would have just killed herself right there and then. But that is 2 people that died. Or I don't even know. I mean, I guess we essentially left Clover and Lotus behind with Ace, and if they can't get anywhere else, then I guess they're dead too. So it seems like this game's down to 4 people. We had 9 to begin with. here's what I'm thinking. What the hell happened to... Not to say what happened to Snake, but I obviously know what the hell happened to him. He blew up. But why is he there? How the hell did he get in there? I don't even know. But, like, right now I feel kind of just terrible, because I had a gut instinct that lets no, let's stick with 3. Maybe something will change. Maybe Junpei found a different solution. This happened, and then, oh my god. This game is... Oh man, I don't even know. It's getting good. It's great so far. I'm loving the story, but it's just the suspense of it is just, oh boy. In that case, I guess we'll take a look around the room, see what we can do to escape. And yeah. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play 999. I'll see you guys later.